So we're gonna do the weekday recap from November 1st to the 5th, to the 4th or 5th. And we're gonna go backwards and just basically recap everything. And I like these videos better because they just show like recent moves. You get me? Like they just basically explain you just showcasing different pairs and different moves. You get what I'm trying to say? So so basically, here's the thing. We know when the dealer, he well overall we're in a downtrend. You get me? Um, we know that when the dealer crosses the 200 or the 800 or even both, he can reset. You get me? He can just throw you wicks to the top, to the to resistance to support, and you know what I'm saying, go the opposite direction and reset, and basically continue the kind of trend trades. And so we're looking for a stop on high drop. You know what I'm saying. So we gotta be careful in the beginning of the week, Sunday, Monday. You want him to show you his hands, and we ain't really see much. You get me? We see that the dealer goes back to support, met resistance, and he's not shifting back down below. He's not shifting back down below, and we're seeing an M formation. But if you see like the dealer closing above resistance in a downtrend, those are like a false M formation, double doji, then you can take that trade going up on the pullback and going up. You get me? Um, Here's the thing, like you can because we know, especially if you see like a lot of resistance, a big W pattern on the 4 hour, then it's basically most likely a reset, and you can actually go for the full 45 pips as a kind of trend trade basically, and just wait it out a little bit and see what happens, see what he does. You get me? But the thing is, it's already Thursday, Friday, and he closed back above resistance, basically making a new level. So you really wouldn't trade that. You get me? And it's like sometimes you're not even gonna get. Sometimes it could be a little difficult. You're not even gonna be able to even trade one signal. Trade two or three signals, because there's always gonna be one type of signal, decent signal for each pair. But sometimes you're not even gonna get two or three signals. You feel me? Sometimes it's gonna be a difficult week. You get me? And that's the whole point of these videos. So basically, you can identify the best trading options for you. So really, like there wasn't really nothing too much going on in this week of November 1st to the 5th. Like yeah, like um we had like a little pullback, but then it broke, because we're still keeping in mind that we're still in a kind of trend trade area. Basically, how the dealer keeps closing back above and pinning to support and shifting below. So we're like, damn, it's probably a reset level. You get me? Especially how we below the 200, 800. Gotta be careful Sunday, Monday. You get me? Not really nothing too crazy. The dealer went back. I'm re-explaining it before I move on to the next pair. The dealer closed back above resistance, pinning it. You get me? Double doji. False leg and breakout. Continue in the trend trade. You got in this. You got in on this candle right here on the pullback. Cause we're like, damn, all right, some M formation and so many little small candles, but he's not shifting low. That means because he's going high. You wait for the pullback right here, and you take it going long, 45 pips. You get me? And for this type of area, you got to be a little careful and wait for the dealers to show his hands. You get me? Because it could be a little tricky. But moving on. So you can see, we're in an uptrend. The deal, all the EMAs crossed above. We got the retail trader trend line. You get me? Cause like yeah, we do market, but if there's no retail trader trend line sometimes, cause sometimes it's not always gonna be there, but most of the time it is. You get me? You can use the support and resistance of the box level and basically the horizontal support and resistance. So beginning of the week, you know what I'm saying? We broke into a new level, broke into a new level. But of course we're gonna map the map the retail trader trend lines. You get me? Look into the heart rate. The dealer opened up the week, um, pinned pinned resistance, and closed back down below the trend line. And it's like you, I'm not. I don't really recommend trading kind of trend trade so much unless it's a continuation. You get me, or something really good that you can identify. But I will be discussing which ones you can trade. You get me, but overall, we're just looking for trade continuing in the true direction of the market. So for this case, like we could be looking for like a last kiss trade. You get me? Um, Cause we're in an uptrend, so a last kiss trade as support, basically pins. You get me? Like a second, a false, well, like a W, double doji, um, and wicks. You get me? The dealer not closing below, especially not passing the 50. Then you could trade that going up. You get me? You could trade that going up, especially you see like even more dojis. But like damn, obviously we're in an uptrend. He's throwing you false M, but in all reality it's a W, because we're looking for W's. You get me? And boom, you could have grabbed your 45 pips right there. And here's the thing, like sometimes the dealer can come back around. You get me? Like for like the third time, and continue back up. You get me? Continue the direction. But sometimes it's not always gonna work out. And this trade we would have lost if we would have basically tried to take that type of trade where you would seen how you would have seen the dealer try to come back like the third time to wick, and especially how it looks like a double doji second leg W. If I try to trade that, I would have lost. But that's why I say to have like a good decent size stop loss, at least 15 pips. You get me? Max 15. Like you really want to go for just 12 pips, because if you're right, you're right. You know what I'm saying? You're wrong, you're wrong. And there wasn't really nothing else much that week. You get me? Um, if you don't see nothing, don't force it. You get me? Unless you're like kind of sure, then don't really force it. And your best bet is to trade off the highs and lows. You get me? Or like certain crucial points. But trading in the middle of the range is not really recommended. You get me? I don't really recommend that. All right, so Australia, New Zealand, and it's like the pair kind of does matter, but not really. It's about the pattern. You get me? Because these patterns they repeat a lot. They repeat a lot. Uh, Throughout the charts. You get me? So here's the thing, like as you can see, we're in an uptrend. But as you see, like how I told you, you gotta just before you start trading certain levels, you gotta take note of certain things. Is the dealer um false breaking below the 200? I'm saying pinning, gonna reverse for a reset level. Is he gonna close above below the 800 and then close back above? You get me? So like yeah, like we're in an uptrend, but we saw the dealer in this case, we're speaking for on the rate for the 1st November, but we're looking to our left. The dealer didn't pass the 800 EMA, so we're like, damn, all right. If he closes below, the 200 and really shift, then maybe then there's a reset level. But look, as you can see, like you see how the dealer closed below the 200, but then closed back above, and then he started closing back down below, cause like how he didn't how we had a false breakout 200, false breakout again, and then how he closed above, because we're in a buy trend, but the level's about to reset. If you see the dealer still not passing, still not shifting hard above the 200, and just keep closing back down below, then it's like yeah, like we're we're going for a reset level, and it's like you can trade a reset early. You get me, and that's what happened in this case. So we have the retail trader trend line, the red trend line. The dealer broke it, right? So basically, we already knew that the dealer was just double resetting, and the level was about to be a reset. Is it recording? All right. Yeah. So boom, he broke support. He came back up. Um, but he's not passing. Like if you see, like he's not passing the 50 EMA and the retail trader trend line. Then it's a good little trade you can take a risk on. You get me, for your 45 pips basically, and you would have tried to held that because we already know how strong certain trend moves can be if it don't pass the 200. You get me, and nowadays we should only be looking for like one or two um positions and each pair. You get me, because if you're patient enough, you can just grow your account slowly. I'm saying you'll grow to $1 a lot, and you don't really gotta do much. You get me? Like the money will just work for you. But that's why I like challenges, small account challenges, because they do make you better. You get me? Like once you learn how to master how to flip small accounts, then it's gonna get better and better and better. Especially with a big account, you can just once it gets to a big account, you can like do some miracles with that. You feel me? So moving on, basically, uh there's not really much. Like yeah, so we're breaking into a new level. We're breaking into a new level. Um, we're breaking into a new level, and basically the dealer, you know what I'm saying, like a last kiss trade, basically like a last kiss trade. But it's like sometimes you gotta be careful because how we do have the retail trader trend line going down. You get me? So near support the box level. So you wouldn't want to rate. I suggest we just wait to see if he pins it and then close it back down above below um towards the direction that you're expecting it to go to. Because if not, it'll just close back above. You get me? But as you can see, like that did happen. Basically, we would anticipated that the dealer was going to break down below 200, make a new level, and you know what I'm saying, he just did a last kiss trade, and you just wait a little bit because he can pin it with the retail trader trend line, and then you take it on the next candle. Excuse me, and then you take that going down. You know what I'm saying, it's already Friday, so you just close it. You get me, and that's how you would have traded that. Trying to go a little fast here because this is just a weekly recap. You get me? Because we have a lot more to discuss basically. So in this is New Zealand dollar. The pair names don't really matter. It's about the pattern. So basically you see how we had like a double reset with the dealer he broke that back down below the 800 200 kind of trend trade, but then he continued the kind of trend trade and then broke back above the 200 800. But notice how he's not shifting above again. He's continuing kind of trend trades basically. But even though even though he'll break the trend line, you know what I'm saying, and he can still continue the direction. It depends if it breaks the box level and the trend lines. You get me? So always try to trade the real direction of the always try to trade the real direction unless you're really sure that he's gonna reset. You get me? So early in the week, November 1st, like the deal already shifted. You know what I'm saying? We saw that we had a horizontal trend line, basically like a previous support, and he broke that. You get me? He broke that. Went a little lower, but then continued back up. So we set a new low. You get me? A new support. And then this is kind of like a small safety trade. You saw like a pin. You get me? Because like sometimes he could do the pin, and then how I say I can come back 2 or 3 times, wick it again and continue, and that's what would have happened. You get me? Like it's a little weird to trade, but we are expecting for even though like he did break retail trader trend line for going up, like he can sell, he could set a new low, you get me, and still continue the true direction. That don't mean that it's always gonna reset, you get me. So because he can kind of trend trade like 2 times and then continue direction. So keep that in mind. So that we saw him, he set the new low, continue back up, um pull back, throw you a pin, you know what I'm saying? Then sometimes you can take it the next candle, like the wicks and stuff like that, because it's not always gonna be spaced out multi sessions. You get me? So that's how you would basically try to trade that, and you would have got your 45 pips. But that's why I say, like, if your trade goes into profit, you gotta move your stop loss, you get me? Because you gotta try at least break even, you feel me? Because if you're right, like I say, if you're right, you're right, you're wrong, you're wrong. Like, at least try to break even every time, you get me? So that way you won't have too much drawdown if you're wrong. So, yeah, now we're just seeing him just, and this right here could have been a loss, don't get me wrong, like, that probably would have been a loss right here. But that's why I say, like, to only put like 7 to 12 pips, because I hate to say it, but if you're right, you're right, you're wrong, you're wrong. You get me? Because you don't need to risk a lot of pip if you're right. You get me? That's why I like to take certain trades, so that way you don't have to maximize a big stop loss. And we saw basically he kept breaking both of the kind of trend trade, like support lines, because we're in the uptrend. So we're like, damn, we're near the 200. Probably next week he could reset. You get me? He did end up resetting. So that's why you got to be careful on the 200, unless the dealer don't shift too hard. The EMAs don't expand. It's like you got to be a little careful. But I like to discuss easy and hard trades, because that's what's basically gonna make you an experienced trader. You get me? And notice how we only had one real good signal this week. That's why you gotta be real picky. You feel me? Real picky. If you're real picky with like a $300 deposit each week, because you could people. Oh, Steve Morrow said like you could spread the wealth, but you don't have to spread the wealth in between multiple pairs. You can spread the wealth on one pair, because you can just wait for that perfect signal, you get me? And then you could stack it, you get me? It's like the pullback, you know what I'm saying? And you could just stack the trade and you'll be eating if you keep doing that each week, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just take 3 signals, we're looking at like 9 to 10 pairs, take 3 signals, stack like 3 trades, you know what I'm saying? Like good 25-cent lot trades, then you're gonna be fine, you get me? But moving on, there was only 1 signal that week for that pair. And then EuroCAD, so EuroCAD, we was in a downtrend, you get me? And we do take on a trend trades, but they gotta be good. They gotta be at the support and resistance box level, and retail trader trend line gotta be there, you get me? So in this week of the market, like we was in a downtrend, you get me? So we was looking for a stop hunt, high drop, but we opened up, because Sunday, Monday, like the only time I suggest you trade that is, like I said, like as a either a kind of trend trade or continuation of a trend when everything matches. And by everything I mean the box level and retail trader trend line, you get me? That's the only time you should really take Sunday, Monday. But usually you should really let the dealer show his hand to you, you get me? Like over Sunday, Monday, like there's no rush, because the market's gonna be there, you get me? Like I said, if you wait for just three perfect signals, and you just stack your trades, stack 3 trades, I'm saying it could be 25-cent lot, I'm saying 25-cent lot trade. If you keep doing that each week, you can increase your lot sizes, you feel me? As long as you're practicing, I'm telling you, practice is more important than just the money. Forget about the money. You want to catch pips, I'm telling you, like, forget about the money. The money's gonna come, don't worry about that. The market's not gonna go nowhere, but you gotta stay focused, you get me? You gotta stay focused, because the market's a beast, I'm telling you. Like, if you're not gonna make no money if you're not disciplined, you gotta be disciplined. And that's the problem that I have with myself, you get me? I do be catching some good trades, but then I be letting losers run. I be moving my stop loss a little bit, and I get a little impatient, you get me? And most important thing is that you gotta just look at only like 7 to 9 pairs. Like, don't be looking around looking all crazy. Like, just have a set of pairs that you really like. So basically, moving on, So we opened the week at a kind of trend trade level because we're looking for stop on high drop, but then you know what I'm saying, the dealer, like, he started wicking to the low. You get me? Started wicking to the low. Um, he wicked to support of the box and the retail trader trend line, and he just throw you like these wicks. You get me? And we can ride the kind of trend trade all the way to the previous resistance on a downtrend. So we saw like this multi-session W as a kind of trend trade. You know what I'm saying? The dealers show you his hand a little bit because on the kind of trend trades, you'll know for sure when the dealer starts wicking a little bit. You get me? So we're like, okay, so we know we're at kind of trend trade type of trade. We saw because we had 1 wick, 2 wick, a little shift bar, small shift bar, a dragonfly, and then like a second wick for the dragonfly. That you can take that on the next candle. You get me, for your 45 pips. For your 45 pips. But you gotta keep in mind that we're still looking for stop on high drop. So you always gotta map your horizontal trend lines. You get me? This was last week's closest, nearest horizontal trend line, basically resistance. And okay, we won our kind of trend trade, but we're only gonna trade like one kind of trend trade. We're not gonna unless it's really good. We're not gonna trade the second kind of trend trade unless we know for sure that the level's gonna reset. So we're still looking for a M formation, some type of M formation. And if you see because you see like a false W, we're like, okay, obviously it's a false W. The dealer he's tricking you. You get me? He's pinning on the 50, but notice how he's not shifting high. Like, he did shift, but then he closed back down below. He pinned the previous resistance. You get me? On a downtrend, that's what we're looking for. And then you take that on the next candle going low, and you would have won that. You get me? Like, you wait for like a little pullback inside the candle, the next candle, and then you take that going low. You got me for 45 pips, and that would have been your real direction right there. And notice how the dealer, like how I told you, how you could just wait. You could just wait. Sometimes for the dealer to come back 2 or 3 times, pin it, and then come back down again. You get me? And that's how you would have won that trade. You get me? How you had 1 pin, 2 pin, and then 3 pins. The dealer, he didn't shift high, break the resistance. You take down the next candle, you would have, you know what I'm saying, you would have won that. Like, but that's why I say, like, you gotta break even. Like, you gotta break even. As soon as you see your trade going into profit, like, it don't matter if you scratch off. It's better than going negative 12, 15 pips. You get me? And that's one thing you gotta think about, like, because there's always gonna be another trading day. That's what I keep saying, bro. Like, you gotta break even, like, because if you're right, it's gonna fly. You feel me? It's gonna go right into profit. And you tried your best. You feel me? You maximize your potential on the trade, because like on the pullbacks is really, you don't gotta put a lot of your stop loss. You get me? Like, 7 pips is enough. 7 to 12 pips is enough. You feel me? On the pullbacks, that's why I keep saying, like, you gotta break even, bro. So moving on. So yeah, like I said, like it might not it might not false, the level might not reset above the 200, like always. Most of the time it will, but that's why you gotta watch around the 800, because if it don't do on the 200, it'll do around the 800. Like, so that's what basically what kind of happened in this pair this week, basically. And so we're like, damn, all this time above the 800 and he ain't shift higher, so that means he wants to come back down. But you feel me? But sometimes that don't mean nothing, because he can still move it to your true direction. But if we seen, wait, let me put this red real quick. So November 1st, you got me. I'm saying like we had the retail trader trend line, then we had our market maker horizontal pullback, basically support. Um, it was like a W, but like it would have been better if the dealer had like a double doji second leg, then you could have taken that going up. You get me? But if you see the dealer keeps breaking your kind of trend trade lines, and it's like, damn, um he's gonna reset. You get me? He's gonna reset, and there's not really much you can do. You gotta reset. That's why I'm saying, like, not every day, not every pair is gonna be. It's gonna be easy to trade, or that's why you keep watching this video, to make it easy for you. Um, you gotta just let it do its thing. You get me? You might be able to catch it at the end of the week after it starts really moving in the opposite direction. So basically, like, yeah, like there was like a little last kiss, but it wasn't really like, wasn't really defined. You get me? If you don't know, like, don't trade it. You get me? Like, just don't even trade it, because he could, like I said, he can make a new level, pull back a little bit, double doji. You could have taken like a little risk. You get me? Wait for the next candle to open, boom, taking that down, and grab most likely 45 pips or not. You get me? At least close to it. But if you move, if you're already in profit, at least try to break even. You get me? Like, at least 10 pips, try to break even. Better than scratching -12. You get me? So some pairs you're only gonna get one signal. You get me? Max 3. But there's always gonna be at least one type of signal. You get me? But you gotta be real picky. And sometimes the beginning of the month, like each month, it's gonna be a little tricky. You get me? It's gonna be a little tricky. What is this? So yeah, like this pair right here, like we was in an uptrend. You get me? It closed above the 800, 200, but we're like, damn, why is it not shifting? You get me? Like, why isn't it not shifting above? Basically, it just keeps giving you lower highs and lower lows, but that don't mean like you can't catch a trade going the true direction of the trend. You get me? You can catch one of those. So we're just waiting. We have our market maker horizontal trend line. You get me? Resistance trend line. Just waiting to see if he'll hit that at least, and just give you some type of pattern. Like, it broke the first one, so we're getting ready for a possible, like, I'm saying, level reset, because, well, there's level reset, and we're at the second one, right? We're at the second one. So boom, because like how I said, at the second test of a kind of trend trade, that's probably when we're gonna get the shift. Like, we probably would have seen that we got the shift here, but we're like, damn, it looks like a false M. So it's really, because we're looking for a W, so we're like, yeah, this is valid. We had the two, 3 hits to like the pullback. You could have waited for this candle right here, or waited one more time for, like, I'm saying, that W, and boom, you could have taken that going up, and you would have grabbed your 45 pips. But that's why I say to move, as soon as you're in profit, move at least 5 to 7 pips above initial entry, so you can try to break even. You get me? So you can try to break even. So yeah, like, we're at the second test of the current trend trade, and we're looking for W pattern, basically. Like, we had one pullback, one wick candle, a second wick candle, no shift. You get me? Like, back down below. So we're like, yeah, the trend's gonna continue back up. You know what I'm saying? Another doji. So yeah, like, we just take it on the next. You wait for a little pullback, and you take on the next candle at the wick. You feel me? Because most of the time it's always gonna go near the wick of the previous. It's gonna go near the wicks of the previous candles. You get me? And continue back up. And did we grab our 45? Yeah, you would have grabbed your 45 pips off for it. You feel me? And that's how you would have traded that. But then, like, the dealer, he's just, you know what I'm saying, he goes back down and starts he breaks the level. You get me? Like you could have. This could have been a last kiss trade right here for as a new level. Where is it? As a new level. But like, it's already the end of the week too. You feel me? And sometimes it could be a little tricky. The last kisses. So probably would have skipped out on that. But we do discuss last kiss trades. So pound AUD. So yeah, pound AUD. We're in an overall downtrend. Look to the hard left. Could always look to the left and see what's going on at the 200, 800. How we had like a reset level around here to the 200, and the dealer closing back down below. It could be level 3. You get me? It could be a level 3. I didn't really count the levels too much, but we could be at level 3. You get me? Let me see something. But sometimes you could trade both ways. You get me? You could trade both ways. You get me? So I would have. We're just gonna discuss this. Basically, we're just gonna discuss this. So we're kind of looking for like a trade going down. The week opened up. There wasn't really much like, you know what I'm saying, that it just shifted right away. But we know that we're in level 3, so the dealer can zigzag 1 or 2 times at resistance or support in level 3 or peak formation level 3. You get me? Well, peak formation level 3, he just shifts fast. But level 3, he'll play around a little bit. So we're kind of looking for a shift going down. So yeah, like this trade right here, we probably would have lost because how we're at a previous resistance. We're at a previous resistance, you get me? The dealer in the trend line, we took the trend line, like he came back up, he closed above it, but then pin, gave you a wick. You could have taken that trade going down after this candle, basically, because if the dealer was shifting above the trend line, usually he'll shift fast, you get me? But if he throws you a wick after a break of the retail trader trend line, and when if it's the box levels there, then it's like, you know what I'm saying, you can continue the direction. There could be a false breakout, and basically continue the direction where you were expecting it to. Like you would have got your 45 pips, but you know what I'm saying, we're level 3, so it's like he can either shift for the level 1, you know what I'm saying, or come back down. In this case, it was a false breakout. It was a false breakout. Give me a second, because it's a little tough. I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes it could be a little tough. We're like, damn, alright, so what, new level? But then if you see him just closing back down, and he already shifted fast, it's like, nah, you feel me, it's not worth it, it's too sloppy. What you could have done is you could wait for the dealer to come back down and go to the retail trader trend line, and basically like wick it in level 3, because the dealer in level 3, he can zigzag all the way up to support and all the way down to resistance, you get me? So he closed back down below the trend line, retail trader trend line. He wicked it one time, gave you a Greystone Doji and inverted hammer. Then you wait for the next. You wait for the next 4-hour candle for a little pullback. You get me? You wait for a little pullback to the trend line, at least to the trend line, and try to trade that. But it was already Friday, and the dealer was moving weird. You get me? So I wouldn't even try to risk it. It would have been a little too weird. But that's why if you keep making these videos and practicing, then you'll get the point. You'll start identifying certain trends more. But yeah, that was from November. This was a quick weekend recap. Weekend recap from the 1st to the 5th of November. Like I said, you're only gonna get, sometimes when the trades are weird in the beginning of the month, you're only gonna get like one signal per pair. You feel me? Because if you don't know what you're seeing, that you just don't know. You feel me? That don't mean that you're a bad trader. You're being a smart trader. You get me? Um, because I'm saying, like, if you put like at least like a $300 deposit, um, and you just take three signals, you get me? You just wait and you stack three trades per signal, a hefty lot size. You wait for a certain pullback, you get me, or a certain last kiss trade, and you take at the pinpoint, like a sniper trade. Then it's like you can put your stop loss at least like 12 pips max, and you don't have to worry about it going into profit. You get me?